What if everything you knew about the world around you wasn't exactly correct? The people, your friends? What if everything that we disregarded as tall tale, folklore, and myth, what if everything involved in that had some sort of fact involved in it? What if you weren't exactly human? What if everything you knew wasn't exactly skin deep? And that's the segue into Skin Deep.
I don't care what they do, and I don't care what they know, and I don't care what they say about me now. No one can touch me now. I'm just flying by.
All right, I'm back. Yes. Yes. So, if you saw that little short I made while I was fooling around with my 3D printer, yeah, yeah. Not working out as great as I thought it would, but you know what? It happens. All right, so getting back to the topic at hand, did you get the hint? You probably didn't get the hint. If so, then take a step back and allow me to introduce you to something that I found. Oh, well, this came around like 2006-ish, maybe, kind of, sort of. Listen, this is real way back deep from way back when, and I completely forgot about it, so it flew under my radar for quite a long time until, I stumbled back on upon it, and I inundated myself with the glory and the awesomeness of that it was. Yes. Yes, can you feel it? It's palpable. But in all seriousness, I keep saying that when in reality I'm not serious at all. Dun dun dun. But yeah, let us talk about Skin Deep. This is an interesting one because this one it's primarily based around a lot of folklore and mythology. All of those creatures that were written about, that were sang songs, poetry, imagery. In this world, in this comics world, all of them exist. All of them exist in a parallel society, completely separated from the human. Griffins, sphinxes, Nemenian lions, nixies, crowmen, you name it, they exist. Angels, demons, dragons. And our story in Skin Deep follows a young woman as she discovers her true heritage as a sphinx. Not just an ordinary sphinx, a sphinx that was thought to have went extinct centuries ago due to a war between the sphinxes and the dragons because the dragons were butthurt and jealous. Haters. Dragons are haters in this comic. Go figure. This comic follows the adventures of Michelle and I'm going to say her ragtag group of friends. Not exactly ragtag because, they've been these things forever and they didn't say anything about it until she changed with a medallion that she just so happened to get her hands on. God, that sounded so passive aggressive. I'm going to do that again. This story follows the adventures of Michelle and her ragtag group of friends as they discover her heritage and her links to the world at large. Her magic is powerful, bold, and it has a tie-in with all of the medallions that these creatures use to hide themselves among the mental blah 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 blah. I bit my tongue. Enough of dramatics. This follows Michelle and her ragtag group of friends, and it ties around her initial discovery of her being a sphinx. It plays more on her heritage as a sphinx and the sphinx's involvement in this hidden world at large, because this world goes far deeper than you'd think just hearing about it on the surface. There's entire communities, cities, you name it, completely hidden, existing alongside of normal human society. And these creatures use these medallions to blend in as a normal human being. It allows them to change their shape and exist among the normal populace. On the other hand, they could choose to live with their own kind in these cities where they don't have to hide themselves. However, there are some who have permanently given up their true form to live as human beings. There's a side story that focuses on that aspect, and I think it's a very impactfully written story about the acceptance of your birth, the terms of your birth, who you are, and understanding that that has no bearing on who and what you could be. At least that's how I take it. But back to the story at hand. Skin Deep follows the adventure in Michelle's discovery in that sphinxes have a larger role in everyone's lives. As I said before, they were very, very powerful, and the dragons, being the bunch of butthurt haters that they is, initiated a war and most likely led up to their disappearance slash extinction, because our main character's father was a sphinx, and he remained hidden for a very long time. So long that when her mother discovered it, she thought it was nothing but a dream. Her father died shortly afterwards, and that was the end of that until our main character picked up a medallion. No ordinary medallion, because these medallions are tied to their true forms. If the medallion doesn't match their true form, it doesn't break the spell, and they remain as humans. So each medallion is coded to that true form. So there's a overlying broad mystery going on in the Sphinx's environment as a whole, as to they're responsible for some of the magic in the creation of the medallions. There's a shadowy organization that sends demons to capture Michelle and bring them to the leader. Yeah, talking straight up demons that came out of a hellmouth that an angel eventually plugs up real good. I'm talking in the days plugs up real good. So let us talk about the artwork and the writing. Now, you got to remember, as the author states, this was written by a teenager in the early 2000s and didn't pop out the first page until around 2006. And as you can read with the synopsis, written by the own author's hand, is that this was more of a focus of mythology, world building, and all of the cool stuff that a teenager would be interested in. So keep that in mind while reading this, and you can clearly see how shaky it is in the beginning with the art, the dialogue, and everything else associated with it. But the world building is very, very, very spot on. I very much appreciate the thought, all of the background thought that went into creating this mythos. Not only a mythos, but a mythos that's tied to the world itself. They exist together. One can exist without each other, but together they make a greater whole. So that's something to take into account when reading this. Now, artwork-wise, yeah, it's very shaky in the beginning. That much can be said about anyone who's just getting into practice drawing and, that's creating something of their own hand. They have to develop a style. And it takes a while for someone to develop their own individual style when it comes to creating a comic. I personally know someone who's working on her own comic, and it's shaping up to be very, very nice. And I shall share that one when it's reached completion enough to be published and given a website and going all down the line. And I'll wait for a bit, make sure there's a backlog, and then I'll bring it on the channel and we'll discuss it. But enough about that. This one is where I'm at. Can you feel it? Yes, you can. Like I said, when one creates a style, it's very evident and connected to the world they've built. And as time goes on with this one, you can clearly see the development. Not only from the writing, but to the world itself and to the characters in it. It's a bit rough at first, but oh my gosh, does it shape up ever so nicely as the story moves on and the characters grow, develop, and change, from the details to facial expressions to backgrounds to environments. Everything progresses at a very even and top-notch pace. So I would definitely recommend this one as a read, and as usual, of course, I will add links to social media, to the website, to merch, to Patreon, just in case you read this, you like this, and you want to support the artist. I always say support the artist if you love it. Show them that support just like you show me in watching this. All right, so this one is a short one, so I'm going to keep it at that and try not to spoil too much, just enough so you can get interested and go read it yourself. All right, peace out. Have a nice one, and if there's any questions or anything you want to discuss in the comment section, feel free to drop me a line. Even say hi or hullabaloo. It doesn't really matter to me. Just go on and keep doing what you're doing and keep on reading no matter what it is. All right? Peace out.